Last night, my girlfriend, sister, friend, and I went down to a river beach near my college. My girlfriend and I do this a lot, and last night my little sister came over for the night and we decided to take her down to a small beach on the bank of the river that runs through campus to sit around a campfire and socialize. The walk to the beach was about 15 minutes through the woods. When we walked to the beach, we stuck to the trail and had no trouble at all. We stayed at the beach for about an hour and a half, after which we decided to walk back and watch a movie in my and my girlfriend's hostel. As we were walking back, we accidentally lost the trail as everything was covered in leaves. An important aspect of this story is that at the beginning of the trail, there is a sagebrush that carries power lines almost halfway between the beach and the street. This sagebrush consists of tall grass and thorny bushes that make it difficult to cross unless you take the only trail through it. Sometime before this clearing, we lost the trail. We had the idea of going straight in the direction of the clearing and, having found it, walking beside it until we found the cut path. It was dark now, so we all turned on flashlights on our phones, and my little sister even turned on music on her phone. We found a clearing and started walking along it, trying to find the trail. My girlfriend was a few feet behind my sister, and I, when over the music my sister was playing, I heard the cracking of a branch coming from deep in the woods. I told my sister to turn off the music and started scanning the area where I thought the noise was coming from with my flashlight. At first I didn't see anything, and when my girlfriend asked me what it was, I didn't say anything and continued trying to find the trail. I was still a little uneasy, so I continued to scan with my flashlight in the direction the noise was coming from. I noticed something white, ear-like, standing very still in the direction the noise was coming from. I couldn't tell if it was some kind of animal or just something that looked like an animal. I didn't say anything because I figured my eyes were deceiving me, as I didn't see any eyes reflecting my light. The thing was about 20 feet away from me, so I figured if it was an animal, I would have seen its eyes reflecting my light. Also, it was standing very still, so I figured my eyes were deceiving me. I moved the flashlight away for a second to continue looking for the trail, and when I shined my light in the direction of the thing again, I saw it rocking violently back and forth. I said what it was and turned around when my sister looked over and shouted, "Why does it move like that?" I had never heard my sister so scared, so I yelled to my girlfriend and sister to run. We ran straight through the tall grass and thorny bushes until we came out on the other side. My sister fell and lost both of her shoes. I helped her up, told her to forget about her shoes, and we all continued running in the direction we thought the trail was. Luckily, we eventually found the trail again and didn't stop running until we were out of the woods. When we got back outside, we calmed down and started discussing what we had seen. I saw him first and realized something was wrong when I saw him rocking back and forth. It was very unnatural, and I can only describe it as it looked limp, kind of like a slinky. It didn't look like something a human could do. My girlfriend and sister saw it after I turned around looking for a way out. They both said it started to come at us and was still swinging as it came at us. This was unknown to me at the time. I had never seen it attack us, so learning this information made it even scarier. Even stranger, we never saw its face or could not fully make out its outline. My girlfriend and sister said it ran on 2 legs and stood upright like a human, but moved in a way that made it seem like a human couldn't move. None of this makes any sense, and we've been trying to explain it ever since it happened, but none of the scenarios we can come up with make any sense. To make it even scarier, my girlfriend told me that when we first got to the beach, she heard someone walking through the woods behind her, while my sister and I were busy making a fire. It may be completely unrelated, but the thought that this person or creature was watching us the whole time we were there really freaked us out. If anyone has any ideas what it could have been, please feel free to share your thoughts because we are all completely confused. In 2016, I bought my first home on my own as a single young woman. I was so proud and excited, especially after finally breaking up with the toxic boyfriend I had been with for the previous 5 years. It was the fresh start I needed. Anyway, I moved into a house. Just me, no roommate, and my ex had never been there. The house was a small 2-bedroom rancher built in the 50s, but updated a bit. It had an unpaved subfloor for storage and a huge fenced yard with 3 gates. a metal one, a small one to get to the front door, and an old wooden one to drive into the covered garage. I work as a nurse's aide, so I often work nights, and so after living in this house for a few weeks, I come home after a night shift. It's 6 a.m. outside. It's starting to get light, and I notice that there are apples scattered all over the yard. Not apples from the tree, but store-bought apples with stickers on them. I was tired, just wrote it off as the kids goofing around and went to bed. A few weeks later, I got off another night shift and everything was normal, as it usually is in the mornings, so I went to bed. The previous weekend, when I went on a trip with friends, I had a babysitter and she invited a few people over for drinks, which was perfectly fine, but they left the cans in my fire pit. When I woke up from my nap that day, I went to let my dog out to pee in the backyard. All the cans, as well as burnt pieces of wood, were stacked in a perfect circle around my fire pit. It seemed odd, but I just figured it was some neighborhood kids messing around. A few more weeks go by and I get off the night shift again, drive up to my driveway and see with bated breath that all my gates are wide open. When I left, they were closed and locked. This time I thought something was wrong, but I was tired after a long shift, told myself not to be nervous about stupid kids bugging me, and went to bed. The next weekend I had a day off and my cousin wanted to go to the movies. I agreed and she took me. When I left, I took the dog into the house, locked the door, and left the porch light on since it was already dark when I got home. When I returned, I found the dog outside, the door unlocked, and the porch light off. The clock for the light is inside. This time I was terrified. I called my dad to check the house. I was sure someone had done it from inside and that someone was living in my basement. But he came and checked and found nothing. I finally decided to get a roommate to calm down a little bit and feel safer. So a guy from work was looking for a place to live and I offered him a room and he accepted. He was a big guy, and I figured if someone was going to bully me, he'd think twice about living there. I was wrong. One night I was home alone as my roommate was working the night shift. I fell asleep on the couch watching a movie and woke up to a missed call from a random number. I Googled the number since I had never seen it before, and it was the number of one of those apps you can download to call or text offline. I tried calling back, no answer, and then a few seconds later I get a message saying, "How's the movie?" I ask who it is and I get a reply, "Who do you think it is?" I ask my roommate if he's messing with me and he replies from his regular number, "No, why?" Then I tell the random number to stop it. It's not funny, but they keep saying things to me like they can see me. I get creepy. I run to my window and close the blinds. Then they start asking me to go outside to see who it is, so I run to my door and close it. And then they say, "It's Corey." I didn't know any Corey. I ignored the messages. Eventually they stopped and I waited for my neighbor to come home to go to sleep. Nothing else happened after that, and I still live in that house with my now husband. No explanation for all of this has ever emerged. I am genuinely interested in hearing everyone's opinion on this.